The news and in all these different stories we're hearing, it's not the most positive stuff. If we can create the change here and talk about everything, then we can be the ones to really see it in the future.
Recently, around the state of Minnesota, students, schools, and communities have experienced racist events that tell us we must raise the levels of respect and honor for diversity and inclusion of all students in Minnesota athletics and activities.
Today it was really fun. It was fun to hear everyone's perspective of different things that their school went through. And then it was also here to hear everyone's different ideas of what they feel differences, changes, what they feel our environment needs in the school for it to get better.
You know, as a former high school and even as a collegiate athlete at the University of Minnesota, this type of space was never created for me in my experience.
Mistreatment of anyone on any basis is not acceptable and will not be tolerated. Racial, religious, or sexual harassment is simply unacceptable in our schools. The goal of safe, supportive school environments is of paramount importance.
At least for students, they realize there's consequences to their actions and that they can be held accountable if they say something out of pocket, and I hope that other students and staff members especially actually do that.
There's competition and we understand that, but there's also sportsmanship, and how you go about defining that can happen at the tables, and it's really exciting.
We commit to making every effort to ensure that students have a safe environment in which to learn and participate in activities. In response to these incidents, an initiative has been launched to improve the overall behavior in all athletics and activities.
I like that it wasn't an environment where everybody was scared to say something. Felt like everybody felt like they were comfortable to speak up and actually say something in the group, so I felt like that was really good.
The approach we are taking will include several planning meetings and conversations we've had starting since the spring of 2022. We've worked extensively with these students, and over the last few months we convened student-created, student-led conversations across the state of Minnesota.
What's the most exciting is that students lead, and that is hard for adults sometimes. So it was really good to see how students kind of stepped into that leadership role really naturally, and their voice was so powerful in the space.
Because I talk to a lot of kids that feel very isolated at their schools. Usually schools don't come together as much to talk to each other. It'd be cool for at sports for people to see other people that they might recognize.
Our next steps in this journey are to host space for a statewide student conference using the themes and collective information gathered from the regional world cafes.
That their work, their leadership, and the things that they're doing intentionally and deliberately will have an absolute profound impact on what life looks like and experiences that other students and families have throughout our districts and state.
What I love about World Cafe events is that it does such a phenomenal job of asking the right questions to really elicit the collective wisdom and to really get the voices of the people in the room to matter. These student athletes are so smart and they have so much to say and they have so much value to contribute, and this type of event allows them to actually have their voice mean something in a very real way.
I feel like these are those surface conversations, and the next step where we synthesize is awesome as well, but it's the action that I'm looking forward to.
In the end, we're all a community and we're all just like one. So I feel like if we can really remember that, it could make everything better.
We believe being led by our students together, we can make a difference. Initiative will shape important conversations and form a new way of creating inclusion and welcoming participation for athletics and activities for all students.
We use a lot of words, we talk about this a lot, and I think that's where our scholars say, hey, words only go so far, let's see some action. I'm hopeful and I really do expect meaningful change to take place so that these experiences stop happening.
I hope that the next lady who plays football is not scared to show off, I guess, because when I first started, I didn't do my best because I was scared, and so I hope that the next girl is not scared at all and feels comfortable playing the sport.